Hey guys, how are you? I hope you all had a Merry Christmas so far. We definitely had a lovely evening yesterday because in Germany traditionally the evening of the 24th is like the big important day for Christmas. So my parents came over, made dinner, had like lovely hours here. Kind of woke up feeling like a stuffed turkey myself this morning. So we really had like a long, nice 1.5 hour walk in the morning in the lovely drizzle of Düsseldorf. But it's all right. She's nice, blow dry again, happy as Larry, just had food. And today's video will be about two different things. Number one will be a little bit of like unwrapping gifts because Santa surprisingly came this morning apparently and dropped some gifts for Alfi. So Alfi will also get some lovely Christmas gifts. I'm not really sure if she understands the concept of it though, but in my idea she does, obviously. And the second part of the video I want to do in this afternoon a little bit of like a dessert making. This is kind of like a very traditional and typical Northern German dessert, which I love. I posted a photo of it a while ago on Instagram, and obviously most of the German people that immediately knew what it was, but some of the people from other countries they were like really intrigued, what is it and how do you do that? So I decided to actually make a little video out of it. I kind of feel like when it comes to Northern German cooking, you don't need to be very talented in it in my world. You just need to have one thing, which is time basically. And even for that dessert, you don't need to have a lot of time. Like the preparation is like literally 3 minutes probably. And then you just put it in the oven and then you just wait for a good half an hour and then it's ready. So that is like an easy, delicious, quick dessert, but be excited. So the first thing we're gonna do now is unwrap some lovely gifts for little Missy here. So let's see what Santa had. Are you excited? Are you excited? Are you excited, little fluff stuff? Okay. What are we going to start with? What are we going to start with, huh? What are we going to start with? Maybe with the biggest one, right? How about the biggest one? Alfie, what is in here? What is in here? I could try and make her unwrap it on her own, but I kind of thought, like, don't jinx anything. Because if I teach her now on how to destroy paper or things that are wrapped, I'm not sure where else she might apply it. So let's see. Alfie. Alfie, oh, it's a panda. You are a little white fluffy bear and now you get a panda bear to play with. A panda bear to play with? Do you want a panda bear to play with? Do you want a panda bear? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely, that is a good one already. She already has a panda. But another one. So I kind of decided whenever she gets a soft toy now, it's all about panda bears. Well, clearly Santa decided it wasn't me. Santa gave it to her. She's distracted, so let's see if I can entertain her for the last parts of it. What else do you get, huh? Alfie. Oh, a new ring. A brand new ring. The grummy old one. Well, I might just put it in the garden probably now, but a new one. Oh, the excitement is real. Well, I'm sorry, she's just in the back there. I can always manage to get her back here, though. That is not difficult. What else do we have? And another ring toy. So this is actually a Denta toy for dogs. I did my research, and it's made out of like natural rubber, which I always appreciate because I don't want to support any kind of like more plastic out of oil or anything. So it's all nature-based, apparently, even though the color irritated me a little bit. But I thought this might be really good for her for the garden as well, because stuff like this here, this is like, normally I always give you like these natural kind of fiber things, but you can tell they don't last forever, and I don't want to give them like to her in the garden because then she might dig it somewhere and then it's like basically for the trash bin. And I thought this might be a lot better. So let's see. Alfie? Oh, look, what do you have here? What do you have here? First, let's get the tag off. Should have done that earlier, right? Look here. Oh, how do you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? Ooh, clearly. Okay, so her little basket is just on the side there. In a moment, I think I'm just going to flip the camera and then you get to see her like with all her toys and everything. She's really excited about everything at the moment. So what else is here? Next thing, I thought that was something really convenient eventually, especially when I'm in Poland with her. So this is like a light that I can put on her little harness, and it should last more than 100 hours apparently, and it comes with a battery. So it's one of those things where I don't need to dispose the entire thing. I can just change the battery, and I thought this is quite nice. It comes in all different fancy colors, but obviously I just decided to go with like warm white light basically, because I was like, I don't want to have like red light next to me the entire time. So yeah, this is something where I thought this is not so much fun for her, but I think this is like a nice convenient thing for me. And now comes a part where I know that she's going to be excited about as well. So I know for sure that she's going to come back in a second. So, since I'm German, of course, what do I give to somebody? Sausages! So I have lovely sausages here already, like they were packed in here, and believe it, like every single day she was kind of like sniffing around like, what is it? So they're packed in like this thin plastic layer, but apparently she could still smell it. And she only had like a little bit of breakfast. So let's make a little dog very, very happy now. I think I'm just going to get half to her though. So this is made by, what is the English word? I think it's game if I'm not wrong. Like boars and deers and everything. I think the general term for that is game in English if I'm not wrong. 80% game, and then there is no like cereals in there. And then it's handmade, no artificial ingredients, herbs, and the rest is vegetables in here. So I think that's going to be good. So let's see. Alfi, come on, you come on. Come on, got a snack for you. Sit. Doesn't work right. That smells too good. Oh, yeah. Definitely. That is a good one, I can tell you. And the last one, again, snacks. These are kind of like the ones that I always take with me because when I drive to Poland, I drive by car. I hardly ever fly there. Then I also need to entertain her and have some snacks for her. And these are the ones that she really loves to have. They're also made, I think, only out of 100%, yeah, 100% meat, so there's nothing else in there. And they're kind of like soft and chewy, and she can just like chew on them for quite a while, so this is always like nice to entertain her for a second. Even though most of the time when she's in the car with me, she sleeps straight through. It is amazing. Only when I fuel up my car, this is when I make her stop and a rest, and then I walk around with her for like 15 minutes. She gets some food, she gets some water, and then she goes back in the car, and then with a blink of an eye, she falls asleep. She's one of those kids that you sometimes see when parents lift their kids out of a car, and the kids kind of look like a prey. They're kind of just like dead bodies, basically. Parents lifting them out of the car, and the kids are just like, and this is what she is, exactly the same. Like, when I stop the car, she kind of just like, I don't know, she wakes up for a second, she looks at me, and then she's kind of like, oh, no, I don't want to go out of the car. But then, I mean, after a couple of hours, I think it's quite good to move around, and she also has a good time. So that was Christmas for little Miss Alfie. I'm going to flip the phone in a second and just do some footage and show you how happy she is with her new toys and everything. Sorry, I'm really distracted. I could just see her there, and it's so fun. And this afternoon, it's going to be, there's the mic. So typical me, this afternoon is going to be part 2 of the video where I'm going to share a typical recipe with you and do some northern German dessert cooking with you. So I hope you're excited about that part as well. We're in early afternoon now, and Alfie clearly enjoyed all of the toys, especially obviously the snack. I mean, that was like the star for a while. And then she was really playing wildly with her panda. So I think that was definitely the best purchase of all of them. Well, not purchase, that was what Santa brought here, obviously. But what I'm going to do now is I want to make a little nice afternoon pudding, because we are around like, I think 3:30 in the afternoon now. I'm feeling a little peckish. Surprisingly, because yesterday I had so much food that I thought today I'm just going to have like a tap water and a salad, but no, obviously there's always room for a nice dessert, and that's exactly what I'm going to do now. And what I'm going to do is a stuffed apple, and that is one of the simplest things you could possibly be making. Traditionally, when you make a stuffed apple in Germany, you would use an apple, the variety is called Boskop. So the apple is a little tart, but I prefer an apple that is a little more crisp, actually. So I use all different kind of varieties, but just like those that I would normally also like to eat because they're like fresh and crisp, a little bit sour though. Those are the ones where I think they work best for it. And how to do it is actually quite easy and simple. I prepared already everything here. what you need to do first is get rid of all of the center here without actually even cutting the apple. And you have these kind of like funny little tools here where you can basically just poke a hole in, but then you have a quite limited space, I think, on how much you can stuff inside the apple. And I like to fill the apple with a lot of nice, good, tasty things. So I'll just use the good old kitchen knife actually, and I'll leave the skin on. So this is an organic apple, and I still wash it well though, but this is the one thing where I would just like tell you, make sure that this is how you do it. You can get the skin off, but I still like the taste of it when it comes out of the oven, because otherwise I sometimes feel it might end up being a little dry and mealy, and from my experience, when you leave the skin on, it kind of stays a little better in taste. So all I do now basically is I'll come in with my kitchen knife and just cut around it without cutting my finger preferably. So I'm not going to look in the camera because otherwise December 25th will be spent in the emergency room. All right. And literally I'm telling you, if I wouldn't talk you through this entire thing would cost probably 3 minutes out of me now just preparing it, because it is so fast and easy, but it tastes really delicious. That's already looking quite good. Now just flip it around and do the same thing from the other side. Just cut it. And as I said, I just cut it a little bigger because I really want to stuff some nice things in there. And in a moment, I can just tell you what I fill it with. Yep, that's looking good. And now from the other side, perfect. Yep, everything is out. This is what you want to have, just like a nice round hole in the middle of your apple. And all you need now is, you can, I'll just make one for myself, but even if I do it for friends or for other people, I kind of like to make it look a little nice. And I have these kind of cocottes from Le Creuset, from this French brand. I really love to use them, also the big pots, the kettle, everything. So all I do basically is I take this, put the apple in there. I don't even need this here. So when you serve it, it looks really nice and cute in its little separate pot. And traditionally, what you would do is you would fill it only with 3 ingredients. You would use marzipan in a base. Then you would fill it with cowberries, so they come straight out of a glass actually. And then you would just top it up with almonds, kind of like these chopped almonds in these little longer shapes. And this is it. But as my grandma always said, everybody can use marzipan, but that would be boring. So she always did something that was a little nicer. Thinking back, it's kind of questionable to give a kid something with alcohol, but already then I kind of like the taste of it. So this is a typical candy. You can buy it in Poland as well, also in Germany. This is, if I translate it, it's called plum in Madeira. So this is kind of like marzipan, and it has a little filling of like a plum puree with Madeira alcohol and then dark chocolate all the way around it. So this is definitely one thing that I'm going to use in there. Then I have some raisins, and those are also raisins that had a little bath in rum, so you could buy them already like this. Then I've got my almonds, I've got a glass of cowberries, and I got a little bit of butter that I put on top of it. And for the base, I'll just use something, just because I just like the taste of it in there as well. For breakfast, I always love to make a porridge made out of spelt, most likely blueberries or something like this. So this is a little bit that I still had as a leftover. So all I do is now I come in and just take a tiny teaspoon of the cold porridge and just put it here in the base. Then some raisins. Now the candy thing, I'm just going to break it apart. Okay, just stuff everything in there and really make sure you stuff it well, because you really want to have as much nice things in there as possible. Okay, that looks good. Sorry for that. And now just like a teaspoon, like really when it comes to the filling, you can fill it with whatever you want actually, whatever you like to eat. So just like a nice teaspoon, a little bit more of the cowberry compote. And then I just top it with almonds. And they can also just like fall aside, because as it goes into the oven, what happens is that the apple is going to expand and pretty much the entire pot will be filled with all of the apple thingies. So also the raisins, some on top of it. And then the last thing I do, I'll just have like my tiny flake of butter that goes on top of it as well. And all I do now is I've already preheated the oven to 200 degrees Celsius. So this little thing goes in there for roughly 25 minutes, I would say. I always have an eye on it. You want to take it out when the apple definitely kind of expanded and it has a nice golden roasty kind of color. This is when you know it's perfect. You take it out, let it sit there for about, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes, maybe not even 5 minutes, 2, 3, 4 minutes, just like to let it cool down a little bit, and then it's perfect and edible. Traditionally, it'll be served with vanilla sauce, but I like to mix very simply just creme fraiche with a little bit of vanilla sugar and then just top it on top of it, and it's going to be delicious. So all I'm going to do now is put this little beauty into the oven, and then in a moment, I'm going to show you how it looks like. Does it look yummy or does it look yummy? I'm loving it already. Perfect color, exactly how it's supposed to look like. You can tell that the apple kind of like fills out the entire cocotte now. It really kind of just like bursts open at the side now. All the filling, the apple kind of like took all of the filling and all the lovely ingredients in there. The almonds, they have a nice color now, lovely, nice and brown. The raisins looking good. Put a little bit of icing sugar on top of it. And here I have like some creme fraiche that I mixed up with vanilla sugar and eventually a little bit of Baileys just for the taste. And then I made myself a coffee as well, so I can't wait to dig in there. So I hope I can manage it without a very shaky phone now. So where's the spoon? Here it is. So yeah, this is exactly how it is supposed to look like. So what you would do basically now is come in with your spoon, mix it all around, and then put like a little bit of the creme fraiche on top of it, and it's going to be delicious, I'm telling you. In terms of taste, this obviously won't be such a big surprise for me because this is something that I make quite often during the winter month because that is just the taste of winter for me. And it comes with a lot of childhood memories because in the north of Germany where I grew up on November 11th, if I'm not mistaken, there is this festivity called St. Martin's Day where kids, they kind of like gather around and you would go from house to house with a lantern that you crafted on your own, sing carols, and then you get like candy, kind of like a German version of Halloween in a way. And then in the end, like at one point later in the evening, all the kids would go to one of the parents' house and eventually that mum prepared this kind of dessert for all the kids. So it comes like with this lovely childhood memory. And also this is a quite traditional dessert for Christmas Day for me. So I really love it. So all I do now is basically just like get in here, mix it up, and then come in with the creme fraiche, put it on top of it, and then just give it a try. Still hot and fresh from the oven. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's well good. It's just like this warm apple, all these textures. I mean, in a way, is it so bad as a dessert? I'm not sure. I mean, there are no carbs inside. There's no flour or anything. So maybe that makes it a little bit better. I mean, there's sugar in it, so there are kind of carbs inside. But for me, this is kind of like a dessert where you don't need to feel that guilty because you still eat an apple by the end of the day. You just hide all of the loveliness inside the apple. Maybe that is what makes a difference to me. But yeah, I'm going to have a lovely afternoon coffee break now. Just enjoy it. And I really enjoy sharing this moment with you in my home again. And wish you all Merry, Merry Christmas. And I hope to welcome you in one of my future videos very soon again. Up until then, have a wonderful Christmas time, guys. Bye. One last quick thing, I hope you might remember that I thought about buying more of those ornaments here because I really enjoy them, and I happened to find 5 more, so yay, very happy about that. And then on the morning walk, I decided to go into another shop because they were already open when I was out with Alfi, and I found those here. Oh my, pine cones of glass. The tips are white and glittery, and they were 50% on discount, so I was like, mine. 7 more of those, all sprinkled through the Christmas tree. Makes me so happy, and just if I look at it, every single evening this side makes me so happy how the Christmas tree is looking and how cozy everything is in here. Because also, like, I painted the wall in the back earlier this year in black, and I'm so happy with that decision. And look who's happy as well. Little Missy, always with me. She was really tired after playing with all of her toys. But yeah, now she comes for a cuddle. So this is finally going to be the end of the video.